Sports 101. On the other side, I have my good compadre friend Christian Dean from that Pushing While Black.
What's up, everybody?
This is the NBA Weekly Show,
which hasn't been weekly.
Well, yeah, we had to take about a week off because we had some other things we needed to do.
But we've been doing football stuff, so it's all good.
Yeah, so it's like when you do football and basketball together, it's like your days become like one. So, this week's NBA show, I watched several games. You watch most of the Bulls.
I have
Bulls games.
I have Bulls thoughts because there's been some things happening, and we have to talk about some trade rumors. So I'll let you drive the show, but there's a couple of things that I have to get off my chest.
First of all, if we could dub like part of our previous shows into this show, the preview, I told you Russell Westbrook and James Harden would share the MVP. They're not going to share it. James Harden is putting on the show. He scored 51, 13, and 13 last night. Let me state that again. 51, 13, and 13.
Who are they playing?
Milwaukee Bucks. You want me to tell you the scary stuff?
Wait, they were playing the Bucks? I thought they were playing the Sixers.
Oh, they played the Sixers. I'm sorry. I watched another game where they played the Bucks.
Okay.
About the same numbers. I told you they all merged together.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. He's very proficient.
Mm-hmm.
And what the league is starting to find out is something that me and most of the OKC fans already knew. He's one of the best pick and roll players in the league.
Yes.
Okay.
And that system being pick and roll, that the foundation of that system is pick and roll. That perfect for him.
Right. So, the other thing is, what's the name doesn't really make his teammates better. Russell Westbrook does not make his teammates better.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that to the people, considering considering he's averaging a triple double almost.
Right, he's averaging a triple double. But when Jordan would get his numbers, Jordan could get his numbers and make his teammates better, or he could just flat out get his numbers. And it's a situation where you really have two split Jordans here. You have Jordan in 96, 95 in Harden. You have Jordan in 92. When the year that they played Boston and he hit 63.
That was 80. That was in the 80s.
That was in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. That was like that was like 80. Was it 85 or 84? No, that was like, because that was after he came back from the broken foot. So that was like 80.
Yeah. That was the playoff year.
Mm-hmm. And Larry Bird actually pulled him aside and was like, "You're a great player, but you're gonna have to trust your teammates more."
Right.
Because my team beat you.
Right. Thank you for that little tidbit. I never would have found that out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it is. He's not really making his teammates better, and with the Enes Kanter injury, they're gonna go down the tubes. And they've lost a lot of games here recently.
They don't have you would think that somebody like Oladipo or Sabonis would actually become
they gotta get touches. He's got to get them in a groove.
That's what I'm saying. That goes back to what you were saying about making your teammates better. Like, okay, you're averaging a double-double, but at the same time, you don't have a Robin Batman. You need a Robin.
I mean, he's rolling around in the bulletproof tank with no help.
Right. Meanwhile, you got the Justice League over in Golden State.
Yeah, that's what I would call them too. The Justice
League, exactly.
Yeah.
We got the Justice League without Batman still destroying everything.
Right. So, with all that being said, that's pretty much my NBA recap. You want me to go into some of the hot topics?
Just save the Bulls for me, please. Just save the Bulls for me, please.
Okay, I'm gonna save the Bulls for you. Okay, number one hot topic. First of all, let me sum this out. Phil Jackson is the worst GM I've ever seen in my life.
And go.
There's a way, and this gets to this. Can I just have a little offshoot conversation with America real quick?
Yep.
Okay, America. This is Anthony. I know it's been a while. Hey, I missed you. But everybody now is about me. Nobody is about we anymore. And this is an instance where you will now see that because Phil Jackson is putting his thoughts before the goodness of the team. Let me tell you the bullshit. Oh, we can cuss on this show, right?
Go. Say, don't stop your thought.
Construct that he's trying to set up. He's trying to the idea that Kristaps Porzingis and Carmelo Anthony can't play together. It's not true. They can play together, but Phil Jackson wants him out of New York, wants Carmelo out of New York. And apparently it gets down to this. You know, Carmelo was the first guy to move back home. He's basically from Brooklyn. Spent a little time in Maryland, but he spent the majority of the time in Brooklyn. So he was real happy to get back to New York.
He went to school out that way from Syracuse. You know, there's that is the team that by him being from Baltimore and by him growing up in Baltimore, that's the team that you root for. So because they don't have a Baltimore team.
He was saying that he moved from Brooklyn to Baltimore. And he was saying, but as far as my hometown, I really feel closer to Brooklyn than I do to Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Which, that's totally his opinion. So, when he went back to New York, it was basically, he was the first starter to move back to his region. So, with that being said, he moves back. His kid is doing great in New York. He loves it. He really wants to stay in New York.
And he got his businesses in New York. He's a tech mogul in New York, specifically in the inner city. So he's doing really good up there.
So here's the deal. Phil Jackson just doesn't want him there anymore. And he doesn't have the heart to just come out and say it. But he's going to make the energy so bad to where something's got to give. And I don't even think Phil Jackson wants to be the GM for the New York Knicks anymore.
He doesn't.
But I think this is just the beginning of the end.
He doesn't.
So, with all that being said, because if you've ever seen Jeannie Buss, But these people have private jets. I don't understand why they don't just private jet it out. You know what I mean?
That's what though. Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
That's James Dolan still owns the Knicks, right?
Right.
This is a Nolan problem. Okay.
No, it's not.
No, let me explain why. Okay. Phil Jackson does not want to be GM of the Knicks. He doesn't. Okay. You figured if you're James Nolan, you figured that people would actually care about playing for the Knicks because the name Phil Jackson, you're thinking that okay, the name Phil Jackson is going to get free agents to come here, and that's not true. I don't really know what Phil is trying to do because you don't want to coach. You don't want to coach, but you want to have your guys in there. Your guys in there are not very good coaches. Then you get a guy of Hornacek. You won't let him run his stuff. They run periodically. You got a guy that doesn't want to leave. You got a guy that doesn't want to leave in Carmelo. You got your anchor, even though your anchor's old. You got your young dude that you build around. You can honestly let Carmelo Anthony retire a New York Knick. You can honestly let Anthony retire a Knick. You got Porzingis. You can build around Porzingis. If Phil Jackson doesn't want to be there.
Well, listen, this is something that was already established early this year.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo said he didn't care whose team it was. He wanted to play with Kristaps Porzingis, and it wasn't an issue.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect storm of bullshit constructs. LeBron basically called out to the news team, and it's time for the news team to assemble. So they're sending energy out. But I honestly feel of the three dudes that are getting the call out, the only one that really wants to go?
Who?
This segue to the
wait. Because you chopped out. So say it again. You chopped out on my audio.
This is the reason why they like me in the podcast and radio world. Because I always give you the perfect segue. Dwayne Wade.
All right. As you lob it up for me.
I give you the wonderful world of Christian Dean and the Chicago Bulls.
Right. So, as my brother Ant has lobbed it up for me perfectly, about Tuesday, Dwayne Wade makes a statement, and the statement is that he goes, I wouldn't lie to you, and I wouldn't lie to you and say that I haven't been thinking about the situation that we're in and the Bulls' inconsistencies having me thinking about testing the free agent market. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what it was. Then they lose. Then they give up. Give up a 20-point lead to Atlanta. Then they lose by 10, right? Or they lose by 6. Okay, mind you, I didn't watch that game, but I seen the highlights and I seen the people that talked about it because I listened to and I have guys that are in the city that I get information from. Dwayne Wade was not playing defense. Jimmy Butler, basically, they don't run the system that Fred wants to run, that Fred Hoiberg wants to run. We'll get into Fred in a second. They basically told Fred Hoiberg, like when he was trying to call a timeout to set up a better play, F no, I'm running this play. This is what Jimmy Butler said. They lose that game. They don't guard anybody. They don't defend well. They give up. They give up all types of points. Everybody's old. You can run them out the gym. Hence why Miami ran them out the gym last night, as they tend to do. So, Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler go in the locker room after that loss in Atlanta and basically chew out all the young players. Okay? Then, in the shower, they basically, Jimmy says, Jimmy says motherfuckers don't care, motherfuckers don't care, and all this stuff. And D Wade says the young teams don't care. Okay, so you clown your young teammates. Then in the media, you clown young teammates, right? You clown the young teammates in the media. So the realest dude on that team is Rondo, because Rondo basically called out everybody in an Instagram post, and he basically said, "When I was in Boston, my vets didn't do that. It was about the team. My vets didn't do that. We didn't shout. We didn't call out the young teammates. They showed us example." Huh?
Could I just say one little quick thing?
Go ahead.
You are asking a man that walks into his job wearing culottes to be professional. That's not like
Anthony.
Yeah.
This is my problem with the Bulls. Dwayne Wade never wanted to come to Chicago, ever. He never wanted to play for the Bulls, ever. That never was a thing. Now, if he'd have got drafted, now the Bulls always wanted him. Miami, because they never thought, here's what happened. Paxson loved Dwayne Wade. Like, he wanted Dwayne Wade because that was the year that they got Heinrich, okay? The plan was never to get Kirk Heinrich. The plan was to get D Wade. They never thought Miami was going to get him because D Wade's a combo guard. D Wade's 6'4". You never figured that D Wade was going to be point guard. So they figured, okay, Miami already has a guard in Eddie Jones. Okay, so the Bulls are like, there's no way Miami's going to draft Dwayne Wade because Eddie Jones is sitting there. Pat Riley, in his genius, was like, we can play Eddie Jones and D Wade together. They draft D Wade. So heart is being brought through a stake is being brought through the heart of John Paxson. He ends up getting Kirk Heinrich. Fast forward to every contract thing, including when they brought D Wade hangs out here in Chicago. D Wade hangs out in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? He has his basketball camp up in Eisenhower, which is like 10 minutes away from Robbins, where his dad is, and where he played, because he played he played AAU ball in the Robbins Rec Center and in the Cal Park Rec Center. Okay, so there's a mural of him on the side of the Robbins Rec Center. There's when he was with Miami and they were in the finals. There were banners everywhere. We love Robinites, we all love D Wade. Chicagoans, we all love D Wade. He kicks it in summer. He hangs out. He never wanted to play for the Bulls ever. You can sit up and like now he's like, I play for the Bulls. This has been a dream. Da 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 da. Fine. When you had opportunities to do so, when you had opportunities to leave independently, other than this one time, you never left. And oh, by the way, there was a thought of them going to Chicago during the Big Three construction. There was a thought of him going, because they had the meeting in downtown Chicago. All right? The meeting, Pat Riley, because I think him and LeBron wanted to play together. The original Big Three was LeBron, and I've heard this, it was LeBron, D Wade, and Amari Stoudemire. Chris Bosh was not in the picture originally. They couldn't get Amari Stoudemire because no one was willing to. I think they were trying to get Chicago to do it. They wasn't really keen on his knees. That fell through. Pat Riley, in his genius, traded everybody. I remember that day because I watched it while I was doing physical therapy. Traded everybody to get the cap room, to get the three of them together. And they went down, and Pat Riley was like, look, I got all this cap space. Are you sure you want to go to Chicago? He was like, no, let's go. And oh, by the way, he talked to Pat Riley to see if they can make this happen. Chicago was a plan B. Pat Riley made the cap room happen. Everybody ended up going. Amari couldn't get out his situation, so they ended up getting Chris Bosh instead. History has been made. Okay. He's always been. He wanted to retire a Miami Heat player. what happened was, and people don't understand this, what happened last summer was it was a gigantic game of chicken. Pat Riley wanted to get Kevin Durant first. The plan was, D, take less money so we can get KD. There was a push to get KD. It didn't work. Now, you can say what we want about Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith's feelers a couple years ago, or a year or so ago, was saying KD wants to get out of OKC. KD wants to go to the Lakers. Now, we were wrong about the West Coast team, but KD was trying to get out of OKC. And there was talk of him going to the Lakers. You've mentioned about how the Iggy and them cats bonded over world championships a few years ago, and OKC ended up being the destination. But there was a push by Miami to get KD here. So if KD was going to go to the Heat, D-Wade would have took less money. Now, that didn't happen. So last summer, D-Wade was like, okay, I need my Kobe deal now. What's the Kobe deal? The Kobe deal is the 2-year to 3-year deal, because I think D-Wade wanted a 3-year deal, where he's basically the guy. He makes the most money on his team. He plays for 2-3 years. He retires. Okay? Pat Riley was like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to give Whiteside the money, which in practice was a good deal, because you give the money to the young cornerstone. Even say what you say about Whiteside and other off the court issues, but that was a good decision, right? So Pat Riley, D Wade played chicken. Pat Riley won. There were 2 teams that were real. There was one that was kind of like, the Bucks was a rumor because Marquette, and it's close to Chicago, because he spends off season in Chicago. The Nuggets, that was real, and the Bulls, that was real, because the Bulls have always tried to get him. That was always real. D-Wade knew the Bulls would always be interested in him, because they've always have been. He signs. Now he signs. The Bulls were thinking about going young. They were thinking about trading Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's 28 years old. They were thinking about getting Jimmy Butler, trading him to Boston. Boston wants Jimmy Butler badly. So did Minnesota. They traded Rose. They traded Derrick Rose. They traded Joakim Noah. They were trying to get more young and athletic. D-Wade falls in their lap. They were gonna get Rondo, give Rondo the keys to a bunch of to this team with a bunch of young up and coming players, and Rondo was going to be that dude that that point guard to run Fred's offense. Then D-Wade falls in their lap. When D-Wade falls in their lap, then it's like, okay, well, you got Jimmy, you got D-Wade, you got Rondo. I said when it happened, is this going to give you enough to beat Cleveland? No. Now, I say that to say this. Dwayne Wade got 1 foot in Chicago and got 1 foot out. That dude signed a 2-year deal. It's actually a 1-year deal with a player option. He's gonna exercise his option. Period. You never wanted to play here. There's talk of them trying to get Chris Bosh. Why would you do that? Chris Bosh has blood clots, and he plays, and you cannot play with blood thinners. He's gonna try to play with a vest on, with like one of them thin Kevlar vest or whatever. But you can't play with blood clots or on blood thinners.
You can't even fly, really.
Huh? Exactly, because of the air pressure. So again, so what are you doing? Chris Bosh loves the city and everything, loves Chicago. At least that's what I hear. And I hear that now. I don't think it was as close as a lot of Chicago insiders say it was. I don't think it is, because I've always listened to what D-Wade has said. D-Wade never, it just happened to where he just fell and played played here. Is he helping the Bulls' reputation? Yes. Around the league? Yes. But what's hurting the Bulls' reputation is Jimmy Butler and
Hey man, can I just say a little aesthetic note about Gar Forman?
Go ahead.
Gar Forman looks.
All right, can I continue? We don't want to,
Thought about that. I figured I would share.
Nah, you're good. You're awesome. Gar Forman and John Paxson, because people. Wow.
Gar Forman.
I never trusted D Wade wanting to play here ever. And it just sort of happened, and then it was like, well, dang, we got D Wade, so now, okay, so we're gonna go for the playoffs here. Okay, fine. The organization, and this is a problem with the organization. The organization is scared to tear things down. The organization wants to go to the playoffs every year. You're not going to beat Cleveland that way. And with the CBA, because the CBA is trying its hardest to make sure guys don't team up anymore, because with the idea, go ahead, man, because you had a thought about.
Be honest, as long as those dudes take 1 year options, they can't really stop it.
So you're gonna have to figure out. You're gonna have to, as players, you're gonna have to figure out, because they're banking on players saying, well, "Damn, I'm giving up all this money. Let's get this large amount of money." With the last CBA, they tried to stop like people teaming up. So it just depends on the player and what the player wants to do. Okay.
And the worst thing they could do is not release what the cap number is going to be, but they have to do it now.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I feel like, the Bulls are. He never wanted to play here. What happened earlier this week, where he basically said he's going to test free agency if the Bulls don't get their act together, and then you pop off at the mouth after a loss, when you take, when you back up, when you don't defend, you know what I'm saying? When you don't defend, when you're yelling at people, and it's like, Rajon Rondo is, from what I'm hearing, from what I've heard from the local media back home, Rajon Rondo is the best teammate there, because he helps the young guys, he studies with the young guys, he goes over film with them. Bobby Portis got sent to their D-League affiliate. Rajon Rondo was there to support him. You know what I'm saying? Like Rajon.
Actually, I've heard that he's, besides these little outlier incidences, he would be a great NBA coach.
Yeah, and he's a great teammate. Teammates. Now, there were some issues in Boston. There was issues in Boston with Ray Allen. There were issues. Now, I heard there were issues with everybody. He just didn't like everybody. But specifically, there were issues with Ray Allen and him. But as far as a teammate, he doesn't get along with a lot of coaches well. He knows if you're not a good coach, he will tell you. He has also said that messing up the Boston situation with Brad Stevens was a mistake. He said that, Brad Stevens is smart.
Right.
So Rondo is a different cat. Rondo is also a truth teller, which is the problem here. You can't be slick. Like D-Wade and Butler are slick. You can't be slick with him, because he'll tell you the business.
Right.
And that's what happened with that Instagram pro.
And we all know about truth tellers in the world we get now in.
Right. And that's what happened with that's what happened with the Instagram post. You can't do what you did publicly, and then when it was brought to everybody's attention, because what the two players in particular that they were that they were talking about. Michael Carter Williams and Nico Mirotic. The two of them have been frustrated with Michael Carter Williams and Nico. Michael Carter Williams is not a jump shooter. He's not a good shooter. He never was.
No. From my years of watching him play college, he's an attack guard. But here's the thing with Michael Carter Williams. He's kind of... And you know you the king of the big words. He's kind of demure about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of these dudes where, I'm going to tell you, earlier this season, the Golden State Warriors had to tell Kevin Durant to score.
Right.
And as soon as he heard that and he said, oh, it's cool with everybody. It's okay. They started playing better.
It's okay to be that dude now.
Yeah, that dude. And Steph was like, man, I'm not tripping. Right. And they said apparently he said this. Russell said he was cool with it, but then they would get on the court and he wouldn't act that way. So his actions didn't match his words.
Right.
And us being both the same sign, I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Your actions to be your words. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about just in general.
No. I'm just because I wanted to say something about the Bulls, which I'm glad you mentioned that. Michael Carter Williams, when
I think he's one of these dudes where you have to tell him it's okay, score like you need to score.
But see, here's the deal though. He's inconsistent. None of these dudes are knockdown shooters. D Wade isn't. Jimmy isn't.
But what I'm trying to tell you is his game is inside out. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Right. But they didn't. But see, here's the deal. When I watched him in Philly, a lot of his really good games was with a bum team. Which is Jimmy Butler is going through this now. Jimmy Butler to me is better than Michael Carter Williams, but not by much. But that's a bum team. But the Bulls were really a bum team that could play defense. You know what I'm saying? And Jimmy could guard people. So, like Jimmy's putting up crazy numbers, but Jimmy's inconsistent. So you got all these guys that can't really shoot well, trying to run a certain type of offense where being a good shooter is important. Michael Carter Williams apparently is, you're mad because he's not consistent. It was brought up that it was leaked out that the people that they were talking about was Michael Carter Williams and Nico Mirotic. Michael Carter Williams, to his credit, went to Jimmy Butler personally and said, "Are you talking about me in the media?" Jimmy Butler was like, "No." This was brought up to him. Jimmy Butler was like, no. When questioned about it in the media, Jimmy Butler was like, I don't know what you're talking about. When questioned about Rondo's Instagram post, Jimmy Butler was like, I haven't read it. Knowing he read it. D Wade was like, I don't know what you're talking about. See, this type of stuff that like...
Oh, so really... Can I just interject?
Go ahead.
Really, they G-string divas.
Exactly.
And if you want to know what G-string divas means, the Anthony Joslin, the Pretty Boy Push Dictionary will be into your stores.
I just, come on. Like, you can't, like, D-Wade never wanted to play here. This was like...
That I was trying to plug.
Huh?
Pretty Boy Push Dictionary will be online the third quarter of the year.
Third quarter of the year.
Go ahead.
All right, man. But yeah, bro, like I don't like what's going on. Like these people know Jimmy is happy being Jimmy and happy scoring points and happy doing this thing. D-Wade coming, he never wanted to come here. He's going to be done in a year. If I'm anybody with any... Because Cause see, you got a bunch of young guys, and you got a bunch of guys trying to, you got a bunch of guys that really don't. Because they're talking about leaders. Everybody's talking about leader and who's the leader. D Wade, you can't talk about being a leader when 2 days ago, before this happened, you were like, I'm testing free agency. Like you never wanted to be here. So for you to try to say anything about that locker room when you're not going to be here after next season, I'm good. Miss me with that. And if I was a player on that locker room, I would stand up to D Wade and I'd be like, I don't care how many rings you got, because really you only got one because LeBron got you the other two of them. Okay, because you were too injured to do anything.
Well, you can't really say that.
Yeah, man. It was. He was too injured to do anything.
That's like, let me give you an example. Okay, you are like a sales leader on your job, right? I had this happen before. And you have to leave for a family emergency, right? Mm-hmm. If your company gets recognized for sales leadership, aren't you a part of that?
Yes, but let me explain. And this is going to seem like I'm making fun of the Mavericks, but I'm not. Or I'm hating on the Mavericks, but I'm not. Dwayne Wade, in the first year of Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, because I'm going to go back to the decision. The summer the decision happened, LeBron James said on television, now I don't have to score 30 every night. LeBron James is a gigantic point guard. He's a facilitator, and we're going to get into LeBron in a second. LeBron James is a facilitator. He's a gigantic point guard. That's what he is. That's what he's always been. He needs playmakers around him to be effective. Okay? As talented as that brother is, and as much as he can take over games, in his heart, he doesn't want to do that. Now, when they went up against the Mavericks, they were favored to destroy the Mavericks. The two of them were figuring out during the finals, okay, who's going to take over games. LeBron was letting D Wade take over games. D Wade physically couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
But that doesn't mean you did. I mean, I'm not in that business.
No.
Listen. I'm not in that business of doing what you're doing. You're trying to diminish his accomplishment.
No, what I'm saying is he told LeBron, because I'm bringing this back to what he told LeBron the next season. Because he told LeBron the next season, in order for us to win, you have to take over. Now, you have to be that dude now, because we can't win if you're not that guy. And even still, there were times where D Wade would take my turn like possessions. So what I'm saying is, when you win 3 championships, and the first championship you had a very good team, but you were the catalyst of that offense. That's what I mean by you only won 1, because you weren't the catalyst of the offense. The other two ones, LeBron was. Hence why I was saying. Man, you know
what? I wish we had some music to put in right here, because I would be Dwayne Wade. This is a Massengale moment.
Hence why I said before, the move back to Cleveland was calculated, because LeBron James was tired of Dwayne Wade sitting out half the season. And then you wouldn't know when the rest days was. They'd have Dwayne Wade.
I would say how I really feel about my guy in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You might as well remember this. Mark down the time on the recording.
Okay.
Because this is going to be a special edition one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really feeling myself, and I've been quiet. Pat Riley is a soybean racist.
What?
Pat Riley is a soybean racist.
Explain what that means.
Pat Riley is this. You know how they use soybeans as a substitute for everything as far as food.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being a real steak and potatoes, hey, I don't like black folks type dude, or they'll deal with them, but they'll have all these little peccadillos. Let me give you an example. Okay, I was just recently working a job, and I couldn't figure out whether the actual supervisor that I had was an ableist or whether he was a racist. But you know something, one of the last things my mother talked to me about was, she said, they're really racist, but in your case, you're in a wheelchair too, so they use that as the cover for their racism.
Mm-hmm.
They can't really say nothing to a black dude walking because there is a realistic chance that they might get socked in the face. With you, they don't know that. With you, they say, "Oh, at least he's not gonna sock me in the face." So that's what makes me know what's the name is really a soybean racist. He's substituting a lot of his comments, and so is Phil Jackson. But it's like DL usually said in a vlog a couple days ago. You need too many minorities to do the jobs for you that you know you can't do. That's it. And this is going to be a special. Can I go ahead and just plug the what the segment is going to eventually turn into?
Okay.
This is going to be a special push 101, pushing while black discussion on race, and this will hopefully be the first segment in that program. We'll find it later, but I'm saying what I feel is pertinent. Because if you look at the actual conversation between LeBron James and Pat Riley at the end, it was strictly based in race. If you look at what Phil Jackson said, it was strictly based in race about LeBron. If you look at how Dwayne Wade left Miami, it was strictly based in race. It was not based in, hey, you're a valued employee, I want to talk to you about this. It was basically,
you owe me.
No, it was basically, it wasn't really you owe me. It was this. Pat Riley was saying, either you play low ball with us like you've been doing for years, or we don't play at all. I'm not even gonna speak to you about it.
He's now, to Pat Riley's credit, and all
the way back, he played at Kentucky. He lost to UTEP in the movie Glory Road.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. He was in that movie. He was one of the characters portrayed in that movie.
He was what was he? Wasn't he a player? He was a player,
yeah,
right?
He was a player. And he's a soybean racist. He's one of these people that still has the same. Okay, it's just like this. If you burn a house down, the foundation is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you build on top of it, it may look like a new house, but the foundation is the same. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
And if you want to plug that different, edit it different, you can. But that's just the way I feel. And in my lifetime, I've only met 3 truly accepting white people, where they said, hey man, I'm just like you just like me. And I know I take advantages. I know I have advantages you don't have. I've only met 3 people in my time on this earth that were like that. All the rest would have they would like you. And trust me, I'm one of the most charismatic dudes on the planet. You know what I mean? So people gravitate towards me. And you just got to be honest. You know, they're all getting a drug. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They're all getting a drug. And so you just got to be honest about what it is and move forward from that. But, I mean, and see, the reason why I'm saying this now is because if we could just have an honest conversation about race, a lot of things would be better in America. But in some cases, black people are scared to have it, and white people really don't want to talk about it.
Anthony?
Yeah.
All right. This is we gonna remember couple shows ago we ended up doing it was a show and then it was a show in a show.
Yeah.
About ableism concerning the kid from Baylor.
Yeah.
Allow me to expound on what you said because I have a story.
Okay. So, do you think? How do you feel about what I said first? Because this.
All right.
This is one of these things.
I get what you're saying because I'm not gonna sit up and tell you you're wrong. Okay.
It just came up in the show.
No.
About it until we started talking.
No. I'm not gonna sit up and say you're wrong. I'm gonna say I don't know if I would agree, but I'm not gonna say you're wrong. But this is why I'm not gonna say you're wrong. Pat Riley has an ego, and you can do things on good faith, and Pat Riley is one of those people that doesn't believe in that. There's no reason. First of all, what he said about LeBron and the issues that him and LeBron have had about his entourage and about his people being in his inner circle being.
Can I just interject this?
Mm-hmm.
Those people are not his entourage. Those people are his business partners.
I know.
Okay, let me just interject this. Mickey Arison has business partners that he invites to the game. Pat Riley will probably have business partners, family members that he just invites to the game. Same difference. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. But when you and I misspoke. So going back to what you said about Pat Riley,
because the entourage has a different.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not trying to step on you. I'm just trying to be clear here.
No. I was actually gonna make that point because I was gonna bring up Phil Jackson too.
And then let me just say one quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are listening to fake news or fake entertainment or what we're trying to do here, and what I'm trying to do with the podcast, even more than being funny, is get the real and right out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the real and right of it is what I'm trying to get across, and we don't want to use no terminologies that might get misconstrued.
Right.
So go ahead.
Okay. So when Pat Riley is making a statement about LeBron's entourage and his family and his people, they don't understand, because you're thinking that, his entourage, his hangers-on or whatever. They're not understanding that Maverick Carter and the 4 dudes that he runs with, like you said, those are his business partners. His agent, his business partners, all that stuff. They have an agency, okay? So people don't...
Things going on.
Right. So people don't understand that. So you're just looking at, the people that surround him, and you're like, oh.
I'm going to tell you something that really pissed him off, and you're not going to believe me when I tell you.
Go ahead.
You know the worst thing that LeBron did?
What did he do?
You remember when he fired, what's the quarterback that what's the name on it? Out of Texas A&M.
Manziel.
Yeah. When they terminated ties with Manziel, that really, really secretly pissed off a lot of Trump supporters, if you get my drift and meaning.
Yeah.
Because what it was basically saying was, I'm treating Manziel like you would treat us.
But okay. But Manziel, that's a smart business decision. Manziel,
no, they don't. You're not missing what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but that's a dumb reason to be mad because what
we have a lot of dumb reasons to be mad.
Well, we can't, as black people, we can't make a smart business decision if it pisses off white people.
Bro,
you see what I'm saying?
Let me tell you what this is.
Go ahead.
And as things progress, we're gonna have to deal with this. As far as even with the podcast we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, everybody that's black that's truly successful, it's the devil. It ain't them. It's the devil. If you get my drift and meaning.
Yeah.
Okay? But, cockazoids. Hey man, hold on. What did I eat to make me just feel like... Okay. I just want to say this. And I just feel like, fuck it. You know what I mean? What can they do to me? You know what I mean?
I need to talk to you when we get off. We gonna because I need to. How we gonna brand this, brother? Because yeah, this ain't a.
I mean, you can. But I was. This would be a situation if she was here. She would have told me 15 minutes ago.
Stop. Stop talking.
Let's get back to it.
Yeah. Okay. Because actually we were joking here, but this is actually a good part, and I actually want to continue the conversation. So Pat Riley is one of those guys that he doesn't like the fact that and basically D Wade had to tell him last year, like, LeBron is my best friend. I'm going to continue to be friends with him.
Right.
Like,
and if that doesn't make him hey bro,
yeah.
That's one of the most racist things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, it is.
You're supposed to hate him because he's not with you.
But it goes back to, but from a basketball sense, it goes back to in the time that he was in the NBA, in the time that he played basketball, in the time that he coached basketball, everybody's supposed to hate each other.
Right.
If you're not on the same team.
Him and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird was having they was having cookouts in the summer and shit.
Exactly. So
that's a bullshit construct set up by sports.
So when you have Pat Riley, old school, honorary Pat Riley, and you have you have D Wade, or you have LeBron, because what Phil said about LeBron, okay, because people were mad because in all the meetings that LeBron had, because really the meetings were, because they would have meetings in hotels, and LeBron would have, they call them the Four Horsemen, like LeBron and his friends and which are his business partners.
And even Ray Paul, his actual agent, was the only dude that he represented at first was LeBron James.
But they all knew each other since high school. Right. They all balled together. Okay, so yeah, they were all on that high school team, that famous.
So Paul was on that team also.
Yep,
I gotta check that out.
I believe so. All his Maverick, I know Maverick Carter was.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they either all went to school together. They was in the same town. They knew each other since they were young. So LeBron basically took all of them together and they learned together.
What me and you trying to do?
Right, which is anything that if you want to build anything, build it with your friends and we grow together.
Build it with your team, not necessarily your friends, but people that have like mind as you. Because I got an example. I got one of my friends. I ain't talked to him. Well, we are friends, but we don't talk.
Right.
But like when we get in the room together, it's like we're Wonder Twins. All I gotta do is, hey, you know which way I'm going with this? Yeah, I know which way you're going. I got you.
Right. And you bounce off each other and you do what you do, right?
Yeah.
They're not conventional NBA people. Like they're not.
What it is, it's the old boy network against the homeboy network.
Right. So when Phil Jackson talks,
T-shirt coming soon.
I know, right? So when Phil Jackson talks about this, Mark Cuban said the same thing. Mark Cuban was like, "That was stupid. I went, but that was for show." Because he went because he'll go and he'll do the pitch, but he was like, I knew within the first 4 minutes, there's no point because I knew where he was gonna go. So when Phil Jackson and Pat Riley and all these, and you're talking about loyalty, Pat's talking about loyalty.
Bro, to be honest, this is even more upsetting when you actually make them go through the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
That pisses them off even more. Like, bro, you ought to try this. Have you ever did this? Go on an interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're a perfect candidate for this because you had that skill where people think you need more help than you actually do, right?
I don't know if that's a skill, Anthony.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but people give the guy money for no reason at all. But
I have stories about that.
Go on a job interview and just have them go through their spiel and have the white lady walk you to the break room and then you go have them give you the offer letter and then you go, I'll pass.
Basically what a mutual friend did.
I've done that too before, brother.
Yeah.
I've done that too before, I'll pass. And they basically say everything except what they want to say. Because when it happened to me, what I know the lady wanted to say,
mm-hmm.
You crippled, mother.
But when you go see with LeBron and see with
how they really are.
Huh?
I just saw something and that's how women really are.
When you going back to what you were saying, which is why I'm not gonna say you're totally wrong. I just wouldn't have phrased it that way. That's a better way of saying it. I wouldn't have phrased it that way. Which is why they're trying to stop the league from doing the super team bit. They're trying to use money as the carrot. Okay, but which is why I will never hate LeBron James for taking control of his career, because when you take control of your career, it is frowned upon with the white lexicons of whatever industry you're in, and which is why you can say that Pat Riley is a racist and Phil Jackson is a racist because they have this old boy way of doing things, and if you're different and you happen to be black and different, then they have to say something backwards. But one of the reasons LeBron James left, going back to D Wade, one of the reasons LeBron James went back to Cleveland and how that calculated that was, is they would tell LeBron James the right before the game, like an hour before the game, D-Wade's not playing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're out. So
honest,
huh?
this is the way it seems like on LeBron's exit interview from Miami. It was made to seem to me like Pat Riley made it seem like, oh God. By the way, I have not seen Birth of a Nation, but I imagine after I see Birth of a Nation, it'll probably get worse.
Yes, it will. I'm just gonna let you know now it will. Yes.
Okay. It seems like Dwayne Wade was the house nigga. LeBron was the field nigga.
Again.
So like,
You didn't say it like that, but all right.
no, it's not gonna work. I'm sorry.
No. Because all right, I wouldn't say it like that, but okay. But you see why LeBron had to leave because, and we've talked about this. LeBron left because of a better situation in Cleveland. Okay, so when it became clear last year that okay, D Wade, we're gonna get other people. We can't let Chris Bosh can't play. We're gonna get other people. The Kobe deal was going back to why the chicken thing happened. You were supposed to get like a 3-year deal. You're supposed to get in good faith. And this is why I can kind of agree with what you said earlier. Pat Riley, you take care of your team, your boy. You know what I'm saying? You take care of your player. Okay? You know the Lakers took care of Kobe. You know this.
Right.
Now,
they still paying Kobe.
With Phil Jackson. Okay? You take what I can say to I'm not a big fan of Cuban, but 2 things Cuban did, one he's actually doing now and one he did when Finley was here. He took care of Finley. Meaning he gave Finley a large sum of money when he didn't a big deal when he really didn't deserve the deal because Finley was a heritage player. Finley been here, he put in work. You know what I'm saying? And when the opportunity came for Finley to get a big check, and Mark Cuban has said this, when the opportunity came for Finley to get his money, Mark gave him his money. Okay? Now he's done some things to other players that I don't agree with. What you can say what you want to say about what's the dude? What's Jerry Buss's son, Jim Buss? You can say what you want to say about Jim Buss and how dumb that deal was, but that was a thank you Kobe deal.
Also, it was a deal to secure the deal with Time Warner Cable.
Right, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
D Wade was looking for that deal because I've taken less before to make sure that we continue to win. I need my money now. And Pat Riley was like, no, I'm not giving you money. From a business standpoint, was that the right decision? Yes. From a dude standpoint, you fucked up. That's why I kind of agree with what you're saying.
The reason why I need everybody to watch Martin Lawrence's A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Just a little side note. But that's what it is.
But you see what I'm saying? As a dude and as a good faith gesture, you give Dwayne Wade the money. It doesn't matter if it's a smart business decision. You do good. You do good by that person, and he didn't do good by Dwayne. That's what it is. And to me, and Phil Jackson, by trying to trade Carmelo Anthony, you're not doing good by him. You're just not. Which is why you can say what you said about the soybean racist comment. Because it's not about, again, I wouldn't phrase it like that, but these are bad. Pat Riley's a bad dude. Period. Because Dwayne Wade should still be in Miami. Okay? And they can build young teams around him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. And Whiteside said he would take less money.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? He didn't even need to do that. Whiteside said he'd take less money, and you still wanted to lowball him.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I'm not hating the fact that D Wade is with the Bulls. I understand, but just understand, everybody. Riley did him bogus. That's why he's here.
I want to write a book called True Motivation.
It just, come on, man. In a good, like, as a dude of good faith, you paid the brother what he owed just because he was a good soldier for you. And Pat Riley's like, screw that. I'm gonna do what I do. Okay, you can do what you do, but do you realize the way now Pat Riley, the way they run that organization, because they actually had a Miami guy on one of the stations that I listened to back home. They actually had a Miami guy, and they actually talked about, like, okay, the D Wade situation, the Riley situation, and everybody agrees that it was kind of nah. But one of the guy actually said, like, he's actually like the play-by-play guy of the Miami telecast. He actually said, and like once Pat Riley gets over himself, D Wade will be welcome back in because he said same thing happened with Shaquille O'Neal. Like Pat Riley did some stuff with Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Shaq left on bad terms, and now the number is retired in the rafters. So this will all pass. But it makes you look bad as a GM, you know, and as a builder of an organization when you don't take value in your players.
Right.
And they'll be fine.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Chris Bosh needed a little going away present.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's not his fault about the blood clots.
No, it isn't.
And to be honest, he's been risking his life for years, and I'm pretty sure this might be my last podcast.
No, won't.
Because I'm just saying, okay, they knew that boy had blood clots, bro.
What are you saying, Anthony?
They had to know. You know how many physicals these niggas?
Anthony, what are you saying?
I'm not saying it's on the level of CTE.
Mm-hmm.
It might be on the level of CTE.
I thought you was going to a different place.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
No, bro, don't never apologize for being you, bro. Don't do that. Don't apologize, bro. Pat Riley has shown himself to not be a good dude, and that's why D Wade is here. And
to be honest, this is what.
And Phil Jackson is showing himself not to be a good dude.
This is what America has been doing for 500 years. And I still have one more segment left.
Yeah. One thing though, because we delved in the race and you wanted to have an honest, and I'm gonna tell you why we'll never have an honest conversation. Gratefully. I don't think. All right, this is where I'm gonna get in trouble. I think there are white people in the world that.
Wow, he built him a new wheelchair.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God!
Oh,
the movie that I've been watching on mute.
All right. So I'm not gonna tell the story. I'm not gonna tell the people in the story, but there was a friend that not accosted, but you know, white people been filming their Cheerios for a while. Okay. So, and actually white people have been there's been an undercurrent of like there's been an undercurrent of like covert racism since Obama's been in office, right?
Overt.
No.
Covert. You're right.
Covert. Let me explain. there's been an undercurrent of covert racism since Obama's been in office that we did, we want to talk, we talk about it all the time, but white people are like, no, you're tripping. So now, because of how our president got in the election, won the election.
Well, hey man, I'm not gonna say our president. I'm gonna say Trump. Okay. Because he's not my president.
I wasn't gonna. I
didn't vote, but I had a personal reason why I didn't vote that day.
No. I was gonna say our president because I don't want people to come. But the reason why we can't have an honest conversation about race is because, like, back to what I was saying, a friend of mine got into he got into a situation basically where a group of white people basically told him that now you're going to see what real white America's about, and then they proceeded to say, "Run, nigga, run." Now, in the conversation, among his friends, it was the ones that were not him or not in his not his race. They were like, well, that was ignorance. Well, it was this, and then because his wife was saying like, I'm worried about the incoming administration, right? So, and people were saying, well, don't blame Trump for this. Don't blame. And then they were like, well, they obviously didn't know that. They obviously didn't know that he was an upstanding citizen and how good of a guy he was. See, that right there is why we can't have a real conversation about race. Because people have this feeling, people have this idea that racism...
The delusion. Wow. I got another shirt. I'm going to save it, though.
People have this idea that racism, it matters if the person is good or not. It matters if the person... Like, people have this idea that racism is the black person's fault. And it's like, it doesn't matter if the person is good. It doesn't matter if the person is bad. My friend and a lot of us have gotten in situations with people of different races specifically because they have a superiority complex against us or xenophobia.
Hey, what is xenophobia? Big word guy.
Xenophobia is the belief that your culture is superior to other cultures.
Okay, and kids, the camera's over the ceiling fan now. The word of the day is xenophobia.
So when you talk about, which is why one culture can go to another culture. And because usually this is an act of war, and we're about to get real deep now. Usually slavery happens after war. Do you realize America is the only country where slavery happened and it wasn't an act of war? It wasn't a consequence of war? You just went to a country and you took people from a country.
Okay, hold on. Now I got enough sense to stop you.
Wait, no. Let me finish. You took people from a country, and this is where xenophobia comes in. And then you said that because of these people have the same body types as you, but because they're darker than you, you discount their culture. And because you discount their culture because they're darker than you, they're not human. So when you have that going on as the backdrop of how this country was built, and it still permeates. It still permeates throughout this country. So, and then you have people that are like, well, slavery isn't here anymore. Like it's all about because we sell this dream of like pull yourself up by your bootstraps,
which is a bullshit construct.
It is and it isn't. But let me finish this thought.
Let me tell you what a self-starter, right?
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about you have to be a self-starter. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, after all that, because I have two organizations that I'm trying to start now. One of them I've been trying to start since like 2003.
The housing one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not okay. You need to be the one self-starting it. You need to have other people that believe in it so much to where, I'm gonna be honest, they might fill out some paperwork for free, or they might say, okay, I'll give you an example. And it's so funny that this happens. The poor people involved in the equation, you know what they'll tell me? Hey man, I'll do that for free. Just put me on your board. Okay. You know the people that can actually, okay.
The people that got the means to actually help you and move it along.
Move it along. Advance it at a hyper speed.
Yeah.
You know, and these are all people, before I started talking to them about the idea, they wanted to gorilla pimp me.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, the second word for the day is gorilla pimp.
Xenophobia and gorilla pimp. That's awesome.
Yeah. Gorilla pimp means where some people want you to volunteer, work for free, work for exposure, and they're living off your image. Right. Or you're doing all the work.
And that's different from what we're doing. Hey man, because I specifically, because I asked you to help me with this channel, and you asked me to help you with the Pushcast.
But we have agreements. We have a set up.
Right. So we're working together. We're working together. If somebody jumps,
and we actually do work together off screen, and we'll be like, okay, you can do this, I can do this.
Right. We're building each other up. Where it's like, I'm just gonna use him to get whatever it is, and not pay him any money.
And there's so many people that that view my comedic talent and my other talents, and they just want to use it. And all I say is, well, damn it, kiss me first.
kiss you before they bend you over?
Yeah.
It's like, damn, could you show me a little bit of love before the screw job happens?
Yeah. And I like KY jelly as opposed to.
Right.
That's the thing.
So when you go,
wait, stop. Don't say nothing. No homo. I'm not a fan. That was a joke. There's been some issues over the last couple weeks.
So much. So what are we gonna? Okay, bring it back, Chris. So yeah, that's basically when we can't have a real conversation about race because.
But why can't we?
Because one, it basically.
You know what I think it is?
Because me and that person had a conversation about it, and he was just like, bro, because it was on Facebook, and I didn't want to say anything, and he was like, dude, you need to, and I was like, no, because if I say something, then people are gonna be mad, and because I thought about doing a video, and I was like, nah, because it's not gonna come out right. Because I vented to him, we vented about this for about a good hour or so, and he was just like, I don't really know what to do here, I basically said, see, with people don't consider racism, and it's any ism. People that are the majority don't consider whatever ism that you have to deal with as a real thing. Like, they don't, when you talk to a white person about institutional racism, they're like, what are you talking about? So when we can't have a real conversation about race when you don't understand the foundations of this country and how the foundations of this country is still permeating throughout the country. It's hard for you to we can't have a serious conversation about race when, like we're talking about how us how the person was able to get in office, how he was able to get traction. There's a reason he was able to get traction. He spoke to a group of people that was disenfranchised. We can't have a serious conversation about race on our end because we don't believe in certain disfranchising, like disenfranchisation. And I said that word wrong, but there are people that struggle that don't look like us, and they don't understand why we're complaining. And there's issue. It's becoming more of a class issue than it is a race issue as far as like the wealth gap. But we don't want to have that conversation because the powers that be are telling one side of poverty, you're still better than them. So
basically, we're all caught up in different spin cycles of the delusion of inclusion.
Right. And until we have
wait, stop. Okay. Can I just have a Kanye moment?
You can have a Kanye moment.
This is the reason why I'm the greatest man on earth. Women should be lining up outside my door with certain gifts and certain physical excitements.
Anthony, when that happens, I need a favor.
I already got you. We had a discussion this morning. It's going to be very clinical.
No. It's a food favor. It's not.
Oh, what is it?
Just if you have something that cooks, I need some turkey nachos. I'll explain to you what turkey nachos are.
Ground beef?
Yes. I need some ground turkey nachos in my life.
I'm no girl that'll do that anyway.
Well, okay. We need to convene. But yeah, man. Like, what were you saying? Go back. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Damn, it might be my sister. That wouldn't be worth it.
Okay, go back. What were you saying? You're the greatest dude on earth. Girls lining up at your door.
Okay, because my cousin came up. My nephew told me something earlier this week. He said, "You know what makes you so great? You can take a real complex concept that nobody sees and make it simple. And then he said, on top of that, you can sum it down to a phrase that people can just walk around and say, and other people get it." He said, that's the reason why you need to keep doing that podcast. He said, because eventually something's going to catch on.
Right.
Everybody's going to be like, this dude, what's the dude?
And the spin cycle comment was genius.
So, I'm just asking. Amber Rose. Amber Rose.
Here we go.
That I would be committed to you. I would be physically focused until I shot that goat. Because I love you.
And this is why I fucks with Anthony Johnson.
Wait a minute. Britt Henry.
Let's go.
You my third shit bubble. I don't even know how to explain it. But I told my mama, I said, that's my white girl.
I don't even know where to go from that, brother.
Serena Williams. Serena, I know you engaged, but I know sometimes he be in another part of the country. And I got a laptop. And I got a lot of affection for you. Can we just talk? A Libra to a Libra. Your birthday come before mine. I swear to God I'll get you a gift. Love you.
so glad you opened the show. So glad you opened the show the way you did, because I think I know how to market this. There it is. Let's go. What are you doing? Brother, I don't know how to follow up from that. Like that soliloquy.
Amen. You know how I am when we go long form, which we have.
Yes, we have.
It's usually 3 shows in one.
Brother, like yes.
I would say to you, but we can handle this off air.
Right.
But Katie was right about everything. He knew that what's the name wasn't. In the grand scheme of things, Russell Westbrook is not as good of a team player as James Harden is on the court.
And yeah.
He knew that. And he also knew that I think he wants to play for longer than the average person, and he wants to win a couple of titles. And he knew that.
And with that shot, you can be a specialist. He could be bro,
but this is if Westbrook and Harden hadn't been having the seasons they're having, mm-hmm. He's in the top 10 of 4 categories.
Bro, he's still gonna be the top 5 of an MVP.
Now let me explain what that means to him. Mm-hmm. Before, he was in the top 10 of 2 categories. You understand what he was trying to do?
Yeah. Be a well-rounded player.
Right.
Yeah. All day.
He having one of the best seasons he's ever had as a pro.
Efficiently. Right. From an efficiency standpoint.
He's in his thinking, he's only 27 years old. He's thinking, I'll have all my rings before I'm 30. That's all he was trying to do.
Yeah. I'm never gonna hate on him for doing it ever. I'm just not. It wasn't gonna work in OKC. Everybody said it wasn't gonna work in OKC. To Skip Bayless's credit, even though he sounded horrible when he said it, and he sounded like. And I love Russell Westbrook, dude. I think the dude is one of the. But you're Allen Iverson with hops, homie. Like.
No, but you can be Allen Iverson with hops, but share the ball. But when I say that, okay, let me tell you something that I actually heard about this, but we weren't recording. Mm-hmm. They played Oklahoma City, and most of the teammates were going over to what's the name, wanting to say, good day to him or whatever. And what's the name was like, this is on video. You can go pull this up. Russell Westbrook said, Ennis, don't say what's up to his bitch ass.
Wow.
Now, that's what it gets down to, bruh. That's what their relationship gets down to.
Well, there goes the whole talk of them still being friends.
But this is a situation that I went through because of recent events. Found out a lot of people that was up in my face. They ain't my friend.
Cause I actually wanna read the actual Instagram post because what it said was what Rondo said was, I actually want to read this real quick. Hold on, let me go up a little bit because I found it as we were talking. My vets would never go to the media; they would come to the team. My vets didn't pick and choose when they wanted to bring it. They brought it every time, and they stepped in the gym, whether it was a practice or a game. They didn't take days off. Slide to D-Wade. My vets didn't care about their numbers. My vets played for the team. When we lost, they wouldn't blame us. When we lost, they wouldn't blame us. They took responsibility and got in the gym. They showed the young guys what it meant to work. Even in Boston, when we had the best record in the league, if we lost a game, you can hear a pin drop on the bus. They showed us the seriousness of the game. My vets didn't have influence of the coaching staff. They couldn't change the plan because it didn't work for them, Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade. I played under one of the greatest coaches, and he held everyone accountable. Slide to Fred Hoiberg. It takes 1 to 15 to win. When you isolate everyone, you can't win consistently. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a bad teammate. My goal is to pass what I learned along. The young guys work. They show up. They don't deserve blame. If anything is questionable, it's the leadership. Slide to everybody in that organization. Everybody. That's the realest dude on the Bulls right now. All them other ones, D-Wade included, and I don't care if he's from Robbins, he's a clown because you didn't want to come here.
Okay. This has been the Push 101. That has been the Push While Black. We out.
Later, people.